Let me guess, you clicked on this video because you wanted some gloves, but you don't want to make such a poor financial decision that you'd be eating potatoes for the next week. Don't worry, I got you. In this video, we're going to be going through the absolute cheapest gloves found on Buff Marketplace. Currencies will be provided in Canadian dollars, US dollars, British pounds, and euro, so you don't have to do the work yourself. Enjoy. But before that, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away some Shadow Daggers, Blue Steel, and Field Tested Condition. All you need to do is subscribe, like, tell me your favorite knife in this video, and leave your Steam trade link in the bio of your YouTube channel. Good luck. The prices you see in this video were taken from Buff Marketplace and were converted using Google's own currency conversion. The current cheapest gloves on the market are the Hydra Gloves Rattler in Battle Scarred condition for $58 US. In my opinion, these gloves are actually really good because they can pair well with cheap safari mesh knives, giving you a really nice color-coded budget combo. Some people may not like the fact that it pairs with safari mesh as it's seen as a very cheap finish, but in my opinion, you really can't do any better for this price range, and for $58, I think you're getting an absolute steal. The gloves themselves also look really good with the spikes and the snakes because they are of course Hydra gloves. The knife I have it paired with here is a safari mesh gut knife and field tested. While these next gloves may look the same, I assure you they're slightly different. These are the Hydra Gloves Mangrove and Battle Scarred for $64 US. They trade out the green spikes and snakes for gold ones, and I think that they pair well with the same knives. They're ever so slightly more expensive, but if you prefer gold over green, then I suggest these ones. The next gloves on this list are Driver Gloves Racing Green in Field Tested Condition for $67 US. You may be surprised to see some field tested gloves on this list, but that's because they were only $1 more than the Battle Scarred version, and I figured that most people can afford this, so that's why this is here. These gloves pair well with Forest DD-Pat knives, like the one shown in this video, which is a paracord knife Forest DD-Pat in field tested condition, and the bonus is that DD-Pat knives are generally cheaper, so most people can afford a nice combo. If you like green, I would go with this one over the previous gloves as it looks a little bit cleaner. Next on this list we have the Broken Fang Needlepoint in Battle Scarred for $74 US. These gloves are almost identical to the previous gloves that we showed, except for the fact that it trades out the mesh for some what looks like leather, except in Battle Scarred it looks a little rougher than the mesh, so it's up to you which one you like. These ones are really good budget red gloves and can pair well with Shadow Daggers as they fall somewhere in the same price range. These are currently the gloves that I'm using, however I'm using ones in minimal wear which I really enjoy. I'm currently trying to find a knife combo, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. Next up for $80 US, we have Hydra Gloves Emerald in Battle Scarred condition. Compared to the previous Hydra Gloves, these have more black on them, which allows the knife to pop more, especially if you have a brighter pattern, such as this Forest DD-Pat knife. In my opinion, these gloves are better than the previous ones because of the black, and they make your knife stand out nicely, so I would probably go for these if you have the extra cash. With that being said, the previous options are still really good, but the Hydra Gloves are a little subjective as they have a lot of texture on them and not everybody will like this. Next up we have Broken Fang Gloves Yellow Banded in Battle Scarred for $80 US. I know you're probably sick of seeing these Broken Fang gloves or the Hydra gloves, but these literally are the cheapest gloves in the game, which is why they're all in this video. I really like this yellow as it pairs nicely with lore knives, and the gut knife lore is a really good example of one that you can get for cheap that looks really good. This kind of has a snakeskin camo pattern with black and yellow on it as well, which I think is really intriguing. Next up we have the Hand Wraps Arboreal in Battle Scarred for $80 US. There's really not a whole lot to say about this one, as in Battle Scarred it looks quite faded, like it's been left in the sun for a little while. These gloves pair well with most cheap green knives, and unfortunately in this price range you're not really going to have many other color options other than green, yellow, silver, and maybe black. All in all, I think this is a decent option if you prefer seeing the fingers of the operator for whatever reason. Next up, we have arguably one of the best gloves on this list with the Broken Fang Gloves Unhinged and Battle Scarred for $86 US. In my opinion, this is one of the best gloves on this list because it pairs with pretty much everything. You can match a knife like this one, which is the survival knife stained in Battle Scarred, or you could pick up something bright like Shadow Dagger's Marble Fade to make them pop. These gloves go with pretty much everything and the combinations are endless. If you have more money to spend, I'd recommend getting these in a lower float, maybe field tested or even minimal wear to make the spikes a little bit shinier rather than dull like it is on Battle Scarred. All in all, this is an excellent option for the price. The next gloves on this list are Moto Gloves Transport and Field Tested for $89 US. These gloves pair well with a lore knife such as the Bowie lore and Field Tested as well, and these are also really easy to sell, as about 5 to 6 sell per week on Buff Marketplace alone. Overall, these gloves are kinda mid, as the desert color doesn't really stand out from other options in this price range. But if this is something you like, I'm not hating and these gloves are certainly not ugly. Last but not least, we have the Hydro Gloves Case Hardened and Battle Scarred for $99 US. In my opinion, these look excellent, especially when paired with Case Hardened Shadow Daggers as well, which can be found for a reasonable price. This combo costs less than $250 US and looks amazing. The only problem is it's very hard to find things to pair with Case Hardened gloves, as the only thing that really goes with it are Case Hardened knives, and these are typically very expensive, except for the Shadow Daggers of course. If you're a Case Hardened enjoyer, this is essentially a no-brainer. However, a lot of people don't like it as it looks a little rough and it looks a little old, I guess for lack of a better term, but in my opinion, this looks awesome. Make sure you tell me down below in the comments which skin in this video was your favorite and which ones you might add that weren't shown today. Make sure you leave your trade link in your bio so that you have a chance at winning those Shadow Daggers. Good luck.